Well, we worked together all day, but this was different. And I thought I'd kind of seen it all in 25 years, but this was different. It was really neat to see the guys, especially some of the younger guys, and see not only what they knew already, but what they learned.
From a team perspective, I was just amazed by all the different talents that came together for this one project, and the resources that were also brought together to make it happen.
It was a lot of fun working together with the team. You know, we all have different backgrounds, we all have different skills, so to kind of be able to everybody focus on a specific area and move forward with a whole project and get something together that more or less accomplished the goal. That was very fulfilling. It was a lot of fun. It gave me kind of a new insight on the rest of the people that I work with every day that I haven't been able to turn wrenches with.
I'd say this is the closest we've ever come to a team building exercise, such as the corporate world might define it. It was actually a lot of fun to kind of get together and, you know, have some quibbles along the way, but basically get together as a team, sort of figure out who has strengths, who has weaknesses. We all have our areas where we're a little more comfortable than others, and sort of volunteer. Having the big list stuck to the car helped out. Just kind of go up there and say, hey, I know how to do that, and then, you know, start taking brakes apart or putting a suspension on or wiring or whatever.
Never had a good laugh right out of the pit.
It's just hot. Temperature hot. I'd like to see what the movie's got. Is it still in a box? Does it go to placard or where does it go? Get back into it. It's got some punch for a second, and it falls on your head. With that.
There was a point where I wasn't sure if the car was going to complete the first lap. So seeing it take the checkered flag was truly amazing, and I don't have any regrets about how things went. I like wrenching on cars. I like diving under cars and getting dirty. So the fact that we had to keep chasing the car around the pits for the first event doesn't bother me at all. I would have liked to have more seat time.
Just when me and this car are starting to get along, we've made progress. We've got it to where it can run out there and do about 8 laps. After that, it starts to get cantankerous, and we think it's boiling the fuel, thanks to Jeff from our neighborly pit stall over there. And at that point, it's just vapor locking, and we're trying to run it on steam.
We're on to fuel pressure regulator number 3. Bust that popcorn.
What? I'm trying to be easy, so don't break it. This is a fine racing. It's a delicate machine.
Just get the thing off.
You know, with my experience, which is very limited, I'm one of the younger of the crew, you know, I definitely felt it was carburetor, but it's tough to know for sure when you have, you know, a questionable fuel pump regulator. You know, we don't know if the fuel line's just getting too hot. There's tons of possibilities, and it was tough to narrow it down.
All right, for the 5th time, we found the major problem is going to be the magic bullet to fix all of our problems. This time, it's the carburetor gasket. This part here has a heat riser that comes up from the exhaust, which is good, except for it had nowhere to go. So it ate out the manifold gasket. Over here, not so bad. When it goes in here, it goes in the engine and stops the engine from running. So it would go 3 or 4 laps and then run like crap again. So the genius team of GRM, led by Tim, has cut a steel shim. We filled the little hole with pieces of tape, JB welded it closed, steel shim, 2 new gaskets, bolt the carburetor down, should work.
Yeah, well, and also that phenolic spacer was 50 years old, probably, too.
There was no phenolic spacer. It was a cardboard gasket. That's not phenolic.
That is a phenolic.
No, that's paper. It's paper. I think that's not phenolic.
Yeah, okay, you're right. I mean, you're not right, but you're right. Yeah, we're probably better off now.
Listen to me. We're going to check the car out, rotate the tires.
I've driven a lot of cars. I mean, I've driven 640 horsepower Viper ACRXs, and I've got a Sunbeam Tiger, and I've got vintage race cars. So this wasn't about the car for me. It was about watching the team, and the car was actually fairly pleasurable the few times it ran right. I mean, we did have that fuel problem. I certainly think the car could be a lot of fun. The racing's a lot of fun. The attitude, the track was a lot of fun. The attitudes were a lot of fun. You know, that taking all that into consideration, it was a pretty neat race and a pretty neat race car.
The handling on that car came out so much better than I expected. Through the twistier parts, you know, where everybody's kind of off throttle, we were as fast as anybody through the twisty parts on 420 treadwear tires with kind of an unknown mixed bag suspension. I was very happy with the way that turned out. I think if we'd have had, you know, just a not even more horsepower, but a consistently running car without the carburetor troubles, we'd have done even better.
We did work very well as a team. We anything that could have been a problem, we investigated. I felt like we really did a great job as far as troubleshooting the car. We all worked very well together. We definitely, you know, from the fuel tank all the way up to the carburetor and everything in between, we diagnosed every possibility. And you know, at the end of the day, it looked like that the carburetor was probably our biggest setback, and it's unfortunate. We didn't have a carburetor that was readily available in any parts store. So hopefully for the next few races, we'll have, you know, off-the-shelf parts available and put on the car.
At different levels of racing, you can get into some pretty bad egos and bad attitudes. Well, most people are pretty nice, but at this level, and it's a serious, you know, it's a ball buster to stay up all night and to run something like this and to keep some dirty piece of junk running. So, you know, I really saw some character in our team as well as other teams that really impressed me.